So I can't flip back and forth between views when I'm doing in camera mode versus live stream. And I'm doing this like in regular camera versus live stream because when I do when I do the when I do the when I do the live stream, it keeps cutting on and off in between me doing it. And it defeats the purpose because it freezes and it just makes it all seem really incoherent depending on where it cuts off at. So that's why I wanted to just do it by camera. So, anyways, but I was talking about, and I closed both sides of the curtain now, but I was talking about how I was sitting in the living room earlier today in my recliner, right, on the other side. And this is the window, but I had one side of the window kind of open, right, because that's the side where I cleaned the ledge. This side I didn't clean the ledge yet. So, I had that side open. And as I was sitting here, there was a truck that pulled up, right? And the truck pulled up, this is a no trespassing sign. The truck pulled up to about right here, like level to level with the no trespassing sign. The guy actually got out of the truck. It was a white guy, real skinny, red hair, mustache, baseball cap, right? So he got out of the truck, like right here. He actually got out and he started to walk up. Then he stopped in his tracks. He looked up. He saw that one part of my window was open. As soon as he saw that, he turned around, went back into his truck, which was parked right here. And the door was right here because I could see him get in the door. And he got in. And then when he got in, he backed the truck up. So boop, boop, boop. He backed the truck up to the front of the truck could no longer be seen. The only thing that could be seen is the front of my mailbox. It has my name on it, but whoop-de-woo, big deal. you know, I'm sure that's not safe to do, but I'm okay with it, whatever. So, I watched out of the window and I could see through the leaves a little bit. So he was pretending to come over here, and he's Atlanta Gas and Light, but there's nothing over here. And I know that there's nothing over here because when I do my ditch is on this side. Lord have mercy. I'm scared of dudes. But my ditch is on this side over here. And when I do the yard, usually like the weeds will grow like around the edges for some reason. And so I'll come over here. I don't do much because only my mailbox is here. So I'll usually, like if there's a weed or something up here, I'll pull it, or I'll just take the whacker real quick and just whack. I don't go all the way over there because that's their stuff. But, sometimes I'll even go as far as over there if I see a big weed sticking up. But what was weird to me is, like, first of all, I'm not in Atlanta. I wish I could turn this around. I'm not going to be sure. First of all, I'm not in Atlanta. So why is Atlanta Gaslight out here, right? And if they are here to do business, why would they come all the way up here, see my window is open, and then back up? If you're here on official business, first of all, that's just suspicious. Isn't that suspicious, right? First of all, it's a little bit suspicious. And then second of all, these weeds are getting on my nerves. First of all, it's a little bit suspicious that you would do that. And second of all, if you think that somebody's watching from the window, whatever, you would know that that's suspicious, and you wouldn't want to, scare somebody. Just finish doing what you're doing, And then, and maybe that's another reason I didn't come out. One of the reasons I said, well, maybe subconsciously that woman, all that noise got me, and I didn't want to be out here screaming and yelling and carrying on. Because once one thing starts, it's like for some reason the vibe or the energy continues and it continues on. And I'm not really about that life. I like peace. But I think part of it might be because he backed up. So I'm assuming, well, maybe, he had something to do back there. But then I thought about it and I was like, I'm out here all the time, Well, not all the time, but, it's my yard. So every once in a while I'm out here, twice a week. And then, trimming the weeds or whatever. But there's literally nothing over here for him to be here. And I was saying how, this is a ditch. That's my ditch over there. And I said, well, it's not anything with the power cords because on this side, it's been cut. On this side, it's not. So you would think he would be over there, but he was not. So I don't understand. So it just really seems suspicious. And then on top of that, I talked about, and I'm walking back down this way so I can show you, because it's like I think back on it and I'm like, that's weird. So I think about the guy that I was talking about on the bicycle, right? And I really do think I need to just stay in the house for real. But but I like it outside. I like being outside and walking around. It's fun, to get fresh air. But at the end of this street here, At the end of this street is where the person on the bicycle was, right? And remember how I nonchalantly said, well, I was walking between the stop sign and the pole, and we walking like that, to stay away from the cars, that, I happened to turn around because I was going to cross the street. And when I turned around, I saw that guy on the bicycle right there. I'm like, where did he come from? First of all, there's not even a sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? There's not, and I don't know why I'm walking down here because, again, I know he's on a bike. Maybe he's just faster. But there's not even a sidewalk on this side of the street. Where did he come from? So, and I was thinking about getting a little kiddie pool, a mid-sized kiddie pool in the backyard. And I still am thinking about that and just hanging out. But it just didn't make sense to me. And I thought about, I'm still going to put the pole up, though. Like, should I have picked that box up or should I left it? But thinking about it, really, I should have left it. You don't know what's on that box. Like they were saying, like, there were things where people, and I talked about, the importance of, how it feels good to have something that somebody would want, right? But the thing about it is this day and age is really crazy out here. And stuff that I heard about this in the past. I had a table just like this. It might be the table that I threw out a while back. But, man. But, oh, and I'm proud of myself. I threw out a table a while back. Yeah. But, so the other part of it is that, you got to be careful out here because I said, well, I picked it up. But nowadays they even have where they were saying that if there was something, I don't know, about gas station, something, if you touch something that somebody gave you, it was laced with something that would make you dizzy and knock you out. So, there's that, but you wouldn't think that would happen in the middle of a street somewhere, but it can, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, this was many years back, and this guy was telling me how, like, girls would go to the club, women, whatever, would go to the club. And when they would go to the club, he was like, you got to be careful, going out and stuff by yourself, because he was like, the gay guys would go to the club, and when the gay guys, I'm so scared of dudes, man. Oh my God. When a gay guy would go to the club, if he saw a female, I'm old now, so ain't no threat. But if he saw a female, some of the gay guys would be jealous of the female. So they would have like a hypodermic needle, and they would walk past the girl in the club and bam, stab her with the hypodermic needle with AIDS. So, and then on top of that, as I was watching, I'm exhausted. As I was watching, so I took a nap. I don't know why. I got extremely tired. Fell asleep for like an hour, 2 hours. And when I woke up, slowly waking up, scrolling through YouTube, I saw a bunch of little shorts that really scared me about people being kidnapped. And these are kids. Like a mom was walking down the street with her little kids, like 5 years old, 3 years old, whatever. She had 3 kids. See, I'm scared of people. Why is he on the side of the street? He was on the other side of the street. I guess he lives across the street. See, I don't like this. I'm too old to be this scared, but I'm scared of everybody and everything. No way. But so she was walking down the because I was watching him the whole time, but that might just be his normal thing where he's on one side and he walks just like I walk up and down the street, but and the teenagers scare me the most. Because they on something completely different. All the stuff that you hear about the murderers and shootings and stuff, teenagers on Newsbreak in Valdosta. Teenagers and 20-year-olds, like early 20s. It's crazy. But, yeah. Looks like a dead animal over here. But so they were walking down the street. This red car pulls up on the sidewalk, just like about right here. And they're walking, like, suppose I had kids, which I thank God I don't. Walking down the street with 3 kids or whatever. One is beside 2 and kind of scattered in the front. The guy jumped out the car, grabbed the little boy, threw him in the car, tried to run off. All the kids, ran in and tried to grab him from, there was somebody in the passenger seat, but they reached over to grab the child. And when they took pictures of who it was like a 30-year-old man of Afro descent. I don't know if he was actually black, but he was dark, like my complexion, dark, maybe a little more yellow tone. And, you know, from far away, probably the same attributes, except slimmer, you know. And then there was the man that was like 60 years old. It looked like he's white. So that's what made me think maybe the Hispanic. But it was crazy. Then there was another one where a little girl was riding her bicycle. And I actually saw a movie very similar to this recently. But this one was something that was on the Inside Edition. A little girl was riding her bicycle. She was 6 years old, right? And 6-year-old little girl riding a bike. And some white guy snatched her. Looked like he was about late 20s, early 30s. And she had on a little dress or whatever, like one of those long dresses that I would wear, like a big tank top t-shirt dress without the ribbing. And he snatched her off of the bicycle and put her in a car. A neighbor saw it and took down the license plate number, right? And you know, they were able to catch him. And you wouldn't even suspect it because it was a nice looking car, nothing raggedy, beat up, you know. But that's the people that usually do those types of things, the ones that you would least suspect, because they would be the least likely to be suspected. You know, if you drive like an big old beat up thing, you know, people are gonna notice it because it stands out. You know, it looks like perhaps you just, you know, hang out around wherever, you know. But I don't know. So I think I really shouldn't have picked that thing up for a bunch of different reasons. But I'm feeling more and more unsafe. Am I tripping? Because I feel like it's just like so many things at once. Again, that's leading to the fact that, you know, first of all the dreams about my back door, well, it's not all. I have two that I remember, but they were back to back, like within a day or two of each other, and slightly different circumstances, right? And then, you know, after that, then the random guy, which kind of matched the guy in my dream, coming up to me where I'm doing the lawn. And normally nobody gets that close. Then after he gets that close, and I make an affirmation that nobody else is going to get that close, then this other guy comes up on a bicycle and gets right there. And then a few days ago, as y'all saw, you know, I had cars coming every way. I go down one street, here comes one. I go down the other, they intercept me. I turn down another street again. The original car comes back and intercepts me. So I don't know what's going on. And then the crazy attitudes at the grocery store. I'm just like thinking like, it's just weird, you know, and it's too many things all at once. You know, if it's one thing here or a specific isolated person or isolated incident there, you know, then good. You know, I get that, that happens. That's life. You know, there's fucked up people. But when you have all of these different things that and then the person that was in Atlanta Gaslight, there's no Atlanta Gaslight here. What are they doing? Why was he in front of my house like that? And why did he look at my window and then leave? You know, it was crazy. It was really weird. Really weird. Jesus, I need to cut this. So I think because I'm seeing this, and it's nothing like seeing somebody else mess to drive you to. So this is it. This is where I was, because I went back down the Bad Street, which is the next street over from mine. But I walked going, you know, this way. I call this north. I don't know if it's really north. But I walked this way. And as you can see, but there's really no sidewalk. I'm going to walk back this way now. This is where I walked from, okay, when that guy accosted me. I say accosted. But there was a car right here, right? And so I was just walking along. And so because the car was right there, you know, I came in between the pole and this stop sign. That looks like Lotus. And I think I actually stopped right there. And then I started to go across the street. Before I went across the street, I looked back. And the guy, I'm scared for this girl jogging. And the guy was like right here on the bike, looking at me, going through his stuff. I don't remember if the car was still there or if it already pulled off. It would be nice if the car was still there watching. And that's when he started coming towards me, and I was like, no, stop, stop, stop. And I don't know where I was, maybe where that stump is. I don't know, somewhere between that stump and that blue tent. And he was just like, no, I wouldn't hurt you, whatever. But, and I actually believed what he said, but I have to be careful about that too, because I remember when I was in Orlando, I lived in Pine Hills, and I rented a room for a bit, right? And when I rented that room, my God, the person that got the house, I think it was only a 3-bedroom house, but he rented out, I rented out the garage, and I used it as a mini apartment. Then there was there even 3 bedrooms? Yeah, I think there was 3 bedrooms, but there was 5 people, 5 quote-unquote families living there in a 3-bedroom house. I consider myself a family of one. I was renting out the garage. Then there was this dude, looked like a young Bobby Brown thug, and he had his girlfriend, who was actually a really nice girl, and he had gotten her pregnant, and she was a really nice girl. She worked at Disney, and she was, exploring acting. She had purchased her own car, this, that, and other benefits, and he really didn't have nothing. He was selling drugs and stuff like that. Then there was a white boy and like an Indian girl, a white boy that was trying to be black and an Indian girl, and she had ended up getting pregnant too, and they had another room. So you had 3, 6, 7, 8 people in a 3-bedroom house. Even though I lived in the garage, I didn't have a private bathroom, and there was only 1 bathroom. Damn, when I just think about it, my house is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. There was 8 people living. Damn, I didn't even realize that until just now. The house that I live in is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, right? So there was 8 people living in the equivalent of my house, okay, with the she shed. 8 people living there. Wow. See, and this is why I can't complain, because that's being brought a long way, because I didn't even realize that same dynamic, 8 people in a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom house. I live in a 3-bedroom, 1 bath by myself, So house, same thing. Let me think about it. Can I think of the backyard? A better backyard and all that. I can't believe we was living like that. That's terrible. Awful. And then on top of that, when I was talking about criminals, and I was talking about how, you can't trust the way people talk or whatever. So, so one day I came back from church. It was a Sunday. This is going back to that house where the rooms were rented out, and I was renting out the garage. Went back to that house, and I guess they didn't know that I was there, because maybe I don't remember what, but I happened to be there. I don't know if I came back, and they came back shortly after me, and I was just laid out on the floor or something. But all of a sudden, the white boy, the Bobby Brown boy, the Indian girl, they had all, and there was a gay girl that I think she was living out of her van, and she had a friend, and they would come over to use the water, and stuff like that, the water hose. It was crazy, you guys. But so the gay girl was the driving person. The white boy, and this is in Orlando, Pine Hills, rough. The white boy and the black Bobby Brown boy and the Indian girl, there was a man that was upgrading his house, and so they had a shed out. They robbed the guy's shed to try to sell the tools, So, and I heard it, and I was like, I can't believe this. I'm living in a house with real robbers, like, what the hell? So, I can't believe that. So, but that Bobby Brown guy, he's not Bobby Brown, but he reminded me of him. I mean, the spitting image of a young Bobby Brown, right? He, man, he was real smooth with it. If you talk to him and the way he treated his girlfriend, you wouldn't know that he was such a thug, because he would always introduce her. You could tell he had roughness in him, meaning that, you could see that if somebody effed with his family, it's done. His girlfriend, his baby, anything that makes surrounded them is done, and that's understandable. And I thought that was admirable. I actually admired that, and, because he would say things like, you know, something, something, something for my lady. And I thought it was just so beautiful, and he was like this, he would always introduce her as my lady, not my girlfriend, not my baby mama, not the same old, my wife or nothing like that, my lady, and I was like, wow, that's nice. But then, and I saw how classy she was, but he was something different. Oh, and there was another couple that lived there too. Damn, I forgot all about that. It was a big fat guy and a big fat girl. Just, yeah, so I'm not even going to downplay, where I came from. And I used to have a sign in the house that says, I didn't come this far to only come this far. And sometimes we don't stop to look back to see how far we really come. This was 2015. Was it 2015? I think it had to be shortly, like around there, because I left Fort Lauderdale around there, right? And then I lived with a Chinese guy. My heart was broken so many times, you guys, just by situations and, no family, looking for family and other people. But so after I leave that the Chinese roommate, whatever, that's where I ended up in Pine Hills. And came a long way. And when I lived with a Chinese person, that room, I rented a room from him because, like I said, it's supposed to be a roommate situation, but you know me, I like my privacy, so I'm going to close myself off in the room. But the room was literally, it's smaller than any of the bedrooms that I have, I think. Maybe the motivation room is the size of that room that I had, but I'm thinking it was smaller than that. It was tiny. And it was awful, And then I went from there to the garage, which was pretty huge, but I didn't have my own bathroom, And then, yeah. And then did I go from there? I think I went from there to actively being homeless, and it was great. It was wonderful. I was SUV RVing, and I was like, this is so much better. I'm not, I put all my stuff in storage, and I really enjoyed that. But then I had to stop doing that because the police were catching on, and they were starting to harass me or try to be intimidating to me, and I didn't want any problems. So that's why I went and got the apartment on Mercy Drive. And to be honest with you, I would have been a lot better off being homeless if it wasn't quote unquote homeless. And like I said, I feel more homeless now than I ever did when I was SUV RV, and it was great, and then bicycling everywhere. I mean, it was wonderful. And then what made me go, but there was a stopping point in between, because I remember being at like a hotel that I really enjoyed, and I worked at this one place, and that's when I was bicycling everywhere. And I think that what happened was when I thought I heard a dog, but what happened was when I kind of ran into a situation where I had rented a hotel room for like a month or 2 or 3, I don't know, a bunch of months in a row. But then I decided, okay, well, I'm not gonna do it for this whole time. And then when I put that break in there, somebody else rented the room that I had, so I had to readjust all my stuff because I was basically living out of there. So then I came across the SUV, and I didn't want to buy it, but I had to, and the timing seemed right for it. So I did that, and then I started SUV RVing, and that was like the best experience ever. I really, really enjoyed that. Like I said, until I saw that I was starting to be harassed, by police and stuff. So, because like I would camp out, and then when I get up, I could see like they were just standing in front of my car, trying to dress as undercover people, but they were standing in front of my car, and you could hear them mumbling, I think there's somebody in there. And so I was like, no, I got to get a place. And so that's when I went to Mercy Drive, which was awful. Awful, awful, awful. And I was paying money to live there. But I guess the good news really though, because even though I was paying money to live there, I think I had like 2 storage units. And I don't remember, I think sometime it was ranging between $600 and $800 a month I was paying for storage. So, and then that's when I started really like working from home. And then that made me feel not so bad about, giving up my SUV RV life, because, working from home, okay, great. I don't have to go into an office or whatever. Convenience of my home. I don't have to even leave the house. So, that all turned out to work out pretty well. But yeah, so I have to be thankful, and how hard I looked for a house, and the learning experience that I had, because I thought so much that, having a house would need an upgrade in life. There are things that are better, because in an apartment you would hear noise all day, all night. You would hear everything, and I ain't really into that. Now it's just minor, what I would consider to be like minor inconveniences. But yeah, I forgot about that. That, at one time I did rent a garage in the 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, and where I'm living is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, and I don't rent a garage. I have the whole place. So that's God looking out for me, and all those different series and steps that I had in my life, that's truly God looking out. These people on bikes scare me so bad. And they're teenagers, oh my God. Oh, what I was about to speak on the other night too, that I think the world silenced me on. Remember, it was like a few weeks ago, and I had taken a walk, like late at night. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm so scared of people that sweet baby faces. But no, I shouldn't say that, because some kids really are sweet. He looked like a sweet baby face, but then again, you don't know. I'm still scared of teenagers. But but yeah, but he seemed like a good kid, so, but they still scare me. Yeah, so yeah, it's a long way, It took a lot of work for me to find a house, and all the things that I went through looking for it, all the disappointments. Just to move from Orlando here, really says a lot about my ability to hang in there, because it took a lot. I did all of that by myself, and then I tried to pay people. I was paying random people, and they was breaking my shit, I won't do that again, ever. If I can't do it myself, it's not going to get done. But a lot to learn. And now, even in this situation here, like I talk about all this weird shit, there's a lesson right here. This is an apex, a turning point. This situation where I'm telling you all these different weird things that's going on, and with me having the window open, I'm gonna see a whole lot more, But yeah. So that is the end of my walk and talk.